Hello, Phoenix Pirates. This is Ninja Kender, your war officer, coming with you today with some simple, quick Seawolf instant repair builds. Now, this one you see here before you, this is your standard Seawolf Cutlass Missile instant repair build that you will have access to the quickest. Now, as you get tech researched and acquire new tech via missions and raids and special events and battle pirates, you will be able to make better instant repair Seawolves. Now, this is the one you'll likely have access to the quickest, which is just cutlasses. You're probably not going to have Cutlass 3 or Cutlass 2 yet, but Cutlass 1, Cutlass 2, and all that good stuff will work just equally as well. Now, this one here is what it'll look like after you've researched more tech in your advanced lab. You'll have a faster speed, you'll have better retargeting, and you'll have a longer range. Range of 96, which is outranges most things. Now, these two here will be great for opening salvages on the world map. Now, they can do okay in lower mission targets, however, not outwardly advised by me for such. Now, if you do want to make instant repair Seawolves to do some mission targets, and my advice to you would be to either set them up with strike missiles, or you could set them up with torrent missiles, whichever you have available. Now, it's more likely that you will have the strike missile available to you before you will the torrent missiles. Now, because of this, it would be more logical for you to go ahead, unless you already have torrent missiles, to go ahead and use the Strike N missile. Now, this missile has a little shorter range than the Strike L, but this one you get quickly. You get it off of, I think, the second campaign in your campaign list. It's a fairly easy campaign to complete, and it nets you the Strike N, along with some nice other little tech. Now, that's it for your intermediate hull. Now, this here is your standard instant repair ballistic Seawolf. Now, this as well is something that you can make better as you go along. Now, this tech here, the special slots, you will add the bigger ones as you acquire them via research, because you're not going to start off with Hardened Barrels 3 or Autoloader 3 or Engine 3. You're going to start off with number 1 of each one when you research them. So you'll have to refit accordingly. Luckily, the build times and refit times on Seawolves are very quick. They're not really time consuming, and in the event that you do coin a little bit, they're not that costly in terms of coining. Now, this one's for a little bit more advanced if you have a little bit better tech. This is a Blaze Thrower Seawolf. Now, the Blaze Throwers add no armor onto the Seawolf, so it keeps it an instant repair. But they have a range of 80, but they also throw a nice bit of damage in there, especially in more modern encounters and more recent raids and recent missions. These will definitely be nice as well, and will, I think, do a very nice job. Now, you could also use the Magma Thrower if you wish, which you don't get the speed buff with, but it's a lot better versus buildings. This would obviously be better versus fleets, given that the Blaze Thrower is got a higher fleet damage than a building damage compared with the Magma Thrower. Either way you decide to go would be fairly decent. Once again, this would be another nice set to do the mission with. Now, there's plenty of other combinations you can use Seawolves with. There's mortar combinations, and just to show you one of those here, you could basically run the same thing that you're running here, except in this particular case, because you'd be running a mortar, and this is just researchable tech here. As far as your specials, you can take your electronic rangefinder there, and the only mortar that you would be able to do this with that would not increase your armor, making it not an instant repair anymore, would be the Negotiator Mortar. Now, the thing here would be that you would need at least Negotiator Mortar 2 to really make it effective, to really give it that zing. Now, as you see here, that can also be an effective little setup. You get a little longer range than you do with the throwers, and it works a little bit better. Now, if you have some Reaver tech in your arsenal, then Incendiary Shells would be a good way to go too, because that essentially gives you a 10% chance to create fire fields with mortars, and fire fields can cause damage over time, which in some cases can make or break you. Now, this is just a few of the things you can do with Seawolves, as far as instant repair. Now, this kind of build here would take you a little bit longer than your typical missile build or your typical ballistic build, but it'll do a lot more. Anyways, that's it for Ninja Kinder's Seawolf builds. It's your basic builds, your intermediate builds, and your advanced builds. Good luck out there, Phoenix Pirates. Come at you next week with another episode.